let's talk about the move to Norwich City. That was in 2009. Life changing, was it?
It was. I was just at an age. I was 28-year-old. We just missed out on promotion with Shrewsbury, which I was absolutely gutted about because obviously I was like, I don't really want to do another year in League Two. And I always said to the chairman when I shook his hand, he said, if someone offers 400,000, you can leave. Colchester had bid 300,000, then they bid 320, then they bid 330, and he's like, I ain't selling you for less than 4. That's your value. And all of a sudden, Norwich came and offered 350, and I'm thinking, I really want to go to Norwich here. They've got it was funny. The bid came in 2 days after they just announced that they sold 23,000 season tickets, and I'm thinking, I really want to go and play in front of 23,000 at least next year. And thankfully, they end up coming and paying the money. And the chairman said, look, I've got the money, go down there. And you knew they were going to do something. They'd had 2 years of probably 3 years of falling, and they fell, and they were all talking about they brought a new chief exec in, they're going to restructure it, they're going to try and get back to where they were. And I kind of knew they were coming out with all the noises, they're going to keep the likes of people like Wes Houlihan, Adam Drury, all the boys have been in the Premier League and Championship. So I knew they were going to have a good go. So when the offer came in, I was desperate to get it done, and thankfully I did. And as they say, the rest is history, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a bit of a Singapore connection when we talk about your time at Norwich City, because Barry Whitbread, who was my manager with the national team, he played there because Zach was actually a little boy who grew up in Singapore and played for Geylang United here, and you played with him, right?
Yeah, fantastic footballer. Just unfortunate for him, too many injuries along the way. He was with us in Championship and then the Premier League, and he's just one of them. But if he'd have kept fit, he'd have had so many more games. He just couldn't he got injured after injured. But what a fantastic talent. We used to always talk about Singapore, actually, so he used to say Geylang were better, but I was like, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, exactly. But let's talk about your first couple of weeks at Norwich City. You were in the Championship, and then you gained promotion with them to the Premier League. So I saw one of the images on the internet. You're wearing a T-shirt which said Uniborn Premier League to the Barclays Premier League or something like that. English Premier League.
The real Premier League.
Yeah, the real Premier League. Yeah, I saw that and I went like, wow. I mean, your story is almost as good as Jamie Vardy's story, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. It's mine's probably got more twists than Jamie's, to be honest with you, because he kind of went up and up. I went up, down, around the houses.
Exactly.
And got there a little bit too low. It was a surreal moment. I remember sitting there. The actual shirt, I never done it. I never really. I hadn't written, thought I'll do this at the start of the game. I've done it before. It literally happened. It was me and Anthony McNamee, and we played the game. So we got promoted. When you were up at Portsmouth, we had one home game left. I got brought off about 15 minutes left to get the clap off the crowd and thing. Let everyone else. I think it was about 20 minutes or whatever it was. Let everyone else go on. And me and Anthony McNamee just looked at each other and went, "You know the beer's in there cold." I was like, "Is it really?" So in mid game, me and Macca walked in the dressing room, opened up a beer, sat there, out a beer, still in kit, and had some chicken wings, and we're just sitting there laughing to each other because again we just came off, so we're like, "Oh, we'll just go and chill out for 10 minutes, and then we'll go back out, and no one will be none the wiser." And it just popped into my head. I was like, the realization that I was in the Uniborn Premier League and I'm now going in the Premier League at 29 to 30-year-old, and you're thinking, it was probably the only time I've sat back and really thought about it. The actual realization that I'm going from that to that, from playing at like grounds at Blythe to now playing at the Stamford Bridge, and I just kind of thought, oh, I'll just write this, thinking nothing about it and what way, and it went everywhere. It went everywhere, and I think that symbolic thing was actually more iconic than anything I've done that year. I think when people looked at that and thought, wow, he's actually gone from that level to there, and you forget where he's actually came from. So, but then I put more pressure on myself now because now I have to do it in the Premier League, which is even scarier.
No, but when I looked at it and I kind of reflected on that message there, so many broken dreams in football, right? So many broken dreams, and that, everyone's starting to kick a ball at 5 or 6 or 7. Everybody dreams about playing in the Premier League. Everybody dreams about playing in the World Cup or Champions League. I mean, I'm pretty sure at that moment you didn't realize it, you wrote it down, but that must have been so special. Not just for you, your family, and think about your grassroots coaches and stuff like that. They all be thinking like, I mean, let's be honest, right? Because you played in Singapore, a lot of Singapore fans were like, hey, he played in the S League. Like, we know him, you know? Try to claim a bit of, I would say, credit for that. And it's, you know, really nice of you to say that, you know, the part of the journey in Singapore actually prepared you for football. But what was your mindset then, like saying that now I finally reached the big time?
Yeah, it was just weird. It was just, it's like a hard sensation. It's a relief. You've had a season of hard work and you've done it, but mine was more relief. Like, this is 10 years work of sheer blood, sweat and tears to achieve this goal. And the good thing is, the guys that I'd done it with in the squad, there was probably only 2 or 3 of them had ever played in the Premier League. So every single person in our squad has never played there. So it was a reality of we were doing it as a group of players to achieve something all together, which was even more special. But for me, it was just I always say to someone, that we'll probably go on to the England thing in a minute, I presume. If someone had said to me that I'd be in the Premier League at 30, after where I was at 20, 21, you just laughed. But the way I used to do it was, mine was never about achieving the Premier League. Mine was just achieving small goals as I went on the way. Right, I'm in League 2 now. Can I score goals in League 2 and get a move? I've done that at Rochdale. I got a move to Nottingham Forest. But one thing I was proud about my journey was I always backed myself. So, like, leaving the Championship to go to League 2, I backed myself that I was good enough to go and achieve the goals. And the same going to Norwich. I went to Norwich backing myself to be top goal scorer and get promoted. That was my dream. I didn't think I was going to be captain because I didn't know if Paul Lambert would come in. Yeah. But to get the captaincy, it was to be a good leader, lift the trophy and be top goal scorer. And then when we went to the Championship, it was exactly the same thing. It was like, can you score goals again? Yes, you can. Show everyone you can score goals. And if we get close to promotion, it's a big achievement. Because everyone forgets in that season, everyone tipped us to be relegated. They haven't bought anyone. They'll go down. No one give us an opportunity to do it. So to actually get close, I remember, it's a funny story, just quickly, just going off topic.
Go on.
So when I got promoted at Portsmouth, that's when we achieved it. Thursday night, we achieved it. And I remember I went to Portsmouth with Sheffield Wednesday when we got a week and a half before we got relegated. And that was the team that they had Harry Redknapp in charge, Jim Smith, they had Paul Merson, they had Sherwood and all the big hitters and this, that and the other. I remember walking through the hallway and they were actually walking with a trolley with all the champagne and stuff before the game.
Wow.
Because all they needed to do was get 1 point against Sheffield Wednesday to get relegated. And I remember walking through and these trolleys, like champagne and this and everything's going up and they're all getting it ready and the banners are there and the flyers are there. I'm thinking, you haven't done it yet. They did do it the week after, but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So, and I'd never been back there. I'd never played against them since. And I remember walking in that door thinking, Jesus, like, I could get promoted to the Premier League like they did in this ground.
Yeah.
Knowing that years ago I'd walked in there just about to get relegated, a young fledgling where I walked in with not a care in the world and walked through the door and just like Portsmouth and hearing the noise and stuff. And I was like, we could be the other side tonight. And that was enough motivation for me in that game to go, I am going to get promoted because this is where, it was like a journey had gone full circle. It was like, this is my destiny to get promoted today in this ground where I'd seen that so many games ago. And and the relief that evening when we got the Premier League and the realisation is, do you know what it was as well? I was at a club where I was wanted. I was adored by the fans. I knew that going up to the Premier League, I wasn't then going to get released and said, you ain't good enough for the Premier League. I knew I was going to get an opportunity. So the fact that I got promoted, I knew that next year I've got a chance of going up against the big boys and see if I can do it again.